over and through his own routine to get ready. But once they take the floor, they're one single unit. Greetings everyone, welcome to 2K Sports and another exciting edition of NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Hart, joined courtside by Greg Anthony and Doris Burke. And it's Allie LaForce for us tonight on the sideline. Let's check out the Eastern Conference standings now that we're in the new year. Take a look at the Bulls. On the season that December here, guys, perched up there in first place and playing terrific basketball, game in and game out. And of course, there's the Nets, just way behind.
Checking out Chicago. They had a few wins coming into the season, and now I don't think they have any. This is a club ready to not only make a deep run, but possibly win it all.
Well, this is their goal. There's no doubt about that. For what many expected of them so far, they have not disappointed.
Here are the starters for Brooklyn. Starting spots filled by Denton and Thomas. Then it's Paul George, and it's Timmy in at the center position. And for the Bulls, Vucevic at the pivot with Williams at the 4. At the guards, it's Diddy at the 1 with White at the 2. And it's MP in at the small 4. Tonight's game means a lot, Doris. These are the games coaches sometimes identify as turning point games, right?
You are so right, Craig, because listen, teams continue to define themselves in terms of who they are and how they win. So performing well at this point in the season really ends up having a great influence where you finish. This is a long year, but an important time.
Here's Williams following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Williams has a screen for MP. And the 3 off target. To Denton. 14 feet away. Rebounded by Vucevic. Fast break, here they come. Shoots from 14. And it's White missing. An efficient score, Kobe White effective with or Greg without the ball in his hand.
And that's a weird ball. Breaking down off the bounce, but also willing to give it up and then zip to an open spot. It just makes it so difficult to defend.
Here's Denton. He's making his presence felt offensively with the scoring average up there at almost 13 points a game. Bulls have gone just 4-4 to get this game started. And we have to mention, Greg, the utter dominance MP has shown recently, right? A huge scoring night for him on insane efficiency. The numbers, you can't even believe what you're reading.
You just don't see stat lines like the one that MP had very often. Kevin, it looked like he had a cheat code on the way. He was making everything from the floor.
And it's the Bulls with the ball, following the bucket by the Nets. Johnson, wide open, connects again from distance.
Well, with the way he hits from distance, I can't say I'm surprised that he's got second all-time in three-pointers made during a rookie campaign. He has been impressive.
And some of the best shooters we've ever had in the NBA are on this list. I don't think it's an understatement to say we could be witnessing a generational talent. Now, let's take a minute to talk to Allie LaForce, courtside. Allie.
Thanks, guys. Well, MP in their last time out against the Nets put on a show. He scored 45 points, and he didn't need a ton of extra possessions to get to that total. And just a huge game for him. His coaches would love to see him do it again. Guys?
Great stuff, Allie. We thank you. It's going to be interesting to see how he follows up that performance.
Yeah, he was the driving force behind that victory, but each night comes with different challenges.
What you love about this guy, though, is even when the defense adjusts to what he's doing, he'll make an adjustment right back. He is always ready with a counter.
Good on both. And guys, hold on now. I'm getting word we have Shams Charania calling in. Shams, what do you have for us?
Thanks. Well, it took a while this summer, but the Bulls were finally able to get an extension done with their bright young point guard, Josh Giddey. In a buyer's market, they could have scored the bargain for a team-friendly deal. And after some overreaches in the past, their disciplined approach stands out.
Good strategy. Thank you, Shams. First quarter of play, we're about 3 minutes in. Outside Thomas. Shoots over White. Thomas, no luck.
Listen, that's a quality mid-range shot, and he just couldn't capitalize.
And he throws it down hard.
Oh, man, MP to be young again.
And a good-looking view of that throwdown from the AT&T Connecticut team. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets. Trailing by 4. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Chicago.
Well, what did them in was all the missed free throws. It could have been a much different outcome.
I thought the frustration at the line was evident, and it makes it easy on the defense when you're not capitalizing once they put you at the free throw line.
The assertive offensive player, White knows he has the green light to rise and fire.
From deep, Thomas. Thomas with another miss. The Bulls lead by 6. Spaghetti, now Johnson. Outside Williams. Vucevic setting the pick for Williams. 4 on the shot clock. And here's George. Here's Timmy. Outside for George. And the Nets miss again. 5 seconds separating the shot against Bucks. And snagged up by Johnson.
Now, this is what we want from MP. Night after night, an energetic performance on the offensive end.
They can use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Thomas surveying the lead. Over White. And nothing is falling for him right now. And so it's Chicago holding on to an 8-point lead and into the break. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. We've got more in store for you right after this. And that... For Chicago, Patrick Williams, he's checked in for Smith. Johnson comes in for Terry. And Josh Giddey's subbed in for Jones. The Nets also changing it up. Ami's checked in, and Thomas subbed in for Terrence Mann. Nets trail by 11. 7-4 for the Nets. Guard spots filled by Denton and Thomas. Wilson out there with Zaire Williams. And it's Clowney in at the center. They set the pick to the inside. Collins grabs the miss. Bulls leading by 11. Thomas grabs the rebound.
Oh, easy look, but he decides to be a crowd pleaser. I'm sure he's upset for attempting that one.
And he gets the bucket.
That mid-range is where Thomas may be his most effective and confident.
You know, Doris, whenever Cam Thomas gets the ball, you expect...
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game.
Well, there's a swagger out there. You can see it on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either. It's to Demon. From past the arc. And Thomas is good for 3. Thomas got 10 points.
Cam Thomas is a guy who is always shot ready. Nice catch and shoot there.
And B up top. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Herder, no good. Nets trail by 8. Double team on Thomas. Here's Clowney. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Chicago has gotten both of their 3-point attempts to go down here in the second quarter. Good. Johnson's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Their interior has been inferior defensively. It has got to tighten up.
Williams against MP. Pass to Thomas. Shot clock at 5. For the 3. Again, Thomas missing.
We'll see in the rebound differential.
Right there, that is one real step from MP.
Well, great hustle from MP. That's recognizing
And so, Jordy Fernandez decides to call timeout. Coach is going to take a few minutes to regroup and go over the strategy. Check in for Chicago. Kobe White comes in for Kevin Herter. And Brooklyn making a change here. Closing in on 4 minutes play here in the second quarter. To the paint. Here's Timmy. That falls. Nice speed that time from George.
Love the way Paul George shares the rock. Sometimes I think doesn't get enough credit for his ability as a distributor.
And in a little over a decade, the Nets, GA, having to rebuild from the ashes of 2 super team iterations.
The short time span between shows how quickly they can turn things around. And with a treasured stroke of pace in the coming years, they hope to climb that mountain once again.
We know Paul George, a very capable playmaker, guys. He is brilliant as a passer.
MP passes to Giddy. Kicks it out to MP. Bring it up for MP. A 3.
This guy has absolutely owned this quarter. This is how you lead by example.
Thomas against White. That's a floater go. Thomas's shot is off.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
White the pass to MP. Bulls moving the ball around. This one for 3. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
A lot to like about the way they're playing right now. But still, plenty of time left.
You do like that the offense is humming along. They're putting in the effort to distance themselves.
Well, you can see it's a matter of pride out there for these guys.
Absolutely. When someone makes a shot, the first thought is, I want my own back.
MP has been leading the charge for Chicago. He has really delivered at the offensive end. He's torched them for 24 points so far. Back right after this.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us. It would be an understatement to say it's been a great half for the Chicago Bulls.
One of the best ways to control the game, take care of the boys. Don't give up second chance points.
And at the offensive end, you can turn misses into makes. That's foul money.
All right, next, let's look at some of the possible entrants into this year's dunk contest.
They should be glad I never participated in this. They wouldn't have enough backboards to handle the real big man.
I'm gonna let you know. Anyone under the hoop when he was playing?
And that is a wrap. Now let's send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third quarter.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. You look at MP in this one, he's been everywhere.
You just love the patience in that first half. Waited until he got the look he wanted.
You know, as a coach, you can preach good shot selection, but it's up to the players to execute, and this guy has done just that.
Nets trail by 13. At the guards, it's Giddy at the 1 with White at the 2. Vucevic at the pivot with Williams at the 4. And it's Johnson in at the 3 set. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. You know, Doris, here's a question for you. Is there a reason why we see so many point guards become head coaches?
I do believe that obviously as a point guard, you are responsible on both ends of the floor. On the offense for knowing all of the sets and where every single guy is positioned. On the defensive end, you're the lead communicator. You are at the point of attack. So it makes perfect sense to me that they become head coaches.
Here's Thomas. He gets that one to drop. He's now 5 of 12.
Cam Thomas is rolling. He's attacking at will. Somebody better shut the water off.
Hitting the pass to MP. Putting over to Dawn. Here's the second.
Taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. That's trail by 15. Here's Demon. scoreless thus far.
He's playing like he has something to prove. Strong defense from the youngster.
Brooklyn's gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Let's check in now with our Allen of the Fours, who's got a story for us. Allen?
Thanks a lot, Kevin. The Chicago Bulls retiring the jersey of hometown hero and former league MVP Derrick Rose. His coach with the Bulls, Tom Thibodeau, said, "The true measure of a man is how he handles adversity, and nobody did it better. He always found a way to rise above, and there's no question in my mind he is a Hall of Fame player." Guys, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Allen. Logic 4. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
The desire to win, it fuels MP. He doesn't let anything get in his way.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Pass to George. And George with the stubble.
And textbook. I mean, that move to the lane, you got to tip your hat on that.
Well said, Brady. And Clark is some major elevation on the slam. In great ball, they need more star talent. The Bulls have had only one top 5 pick in the last 17 seasons.
Yeah, it's like being on the treadmill of mediocrity, right? When that's the case, you've got to outperform the draft position. They've had some good picks in that time, but no all-star. Fantastic decision from MP. The more experience he gets, the better passer he'll become.
Johnson over the help. Pass to Thomas. That ball was in that time from George. George has got his third assist on the night. And Billy Donovan wants a timeout. He's going to take his chance to talk to his guy. Here's Wilson. Still scoreless. Williams finds Johnson. Outside Thomas. On the wing, Johnson. Defended by Jones. Outside for Thomas. Pocket 6. The Nets need to get a shot off here. Johnson can't get it to go.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Pass for Hurley. Collins setting the pick for Hurley. Oh, good with the triple. And so it's the Chicago Bulls feeling good about their 17-point lead heading into the break. They've been putting out a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. We'll get you back to the action after this break. Let's take a listen to a recent huddle from Coach Bill.
Hold your ground. Don't let him back your way. Just hold your ground. The other thing, too, is once he gets the ball up, he's not going to shoot it. If he does, just stay down on him.
I like the way the Donovans conveying that scouting report to his guys.
I mean, knowing how your opponent plays is important, but I think he's on point on this one.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. So for Brooklyn now, Terrence Mann is out there with Zion Williams. Then it's Thomas. Then it's Johnson. And it's Wilson at the 5 down low. And Williams with the basket on the assist by Johnson.
I'll tell you, delivering the basketball in tight spots is not easy, but he made it look that way.
Jones, the best to come. Now here's Johnson. Hands to Smith. Here's Jones on the wing. Johnson outside. MP throws it down.
I tell you, sometimes you can make a statement with a dunk. MP, yes, sir.
It's 3 by 17. Man passes to Williams. Jones against Johnson. On the wing, man. To the middle. The shot by Wilson, no good.
Boy, that's the kind of
Fernandez has called a timeout. And clearly an important juncture. He's going to have some choice words with his team. So, Chicago going with an almost entirely new group. Vucevic checked in for Collins. Williams comes in for Jalen Smith. Kobe White is checked in for Kevin Herter. And Josh Giddey subbed in for Jones. Thomas against White. Outside for George. Back to Thomas. 2 pointers off the mark.
He had 6 points from long range in the first half, but nothing's fallen here. So, goodness, MP going deep in the bag with that.
And another look at that last play with the AT&T connected team. Now George. And just off the cuff, this is the toughest part of the season.
I mean, for me, watching these players try to perform the final 2 to 3 weeks before All-Star game, there are so many things to play. Has it been an extraordinarily difficult season where you're just simply not winning? Are you trying to incorporate perhaps a player from a new trade? And then also just the focus. Everybody's mind is, ooh, I've got a week vacation here. I can't wait.
Pass to Clowney. They set the pick. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Rebound by the Bulls. MP inside. Defended by George. And slammed up by Vucevic.
Vucevic knows who he is. This guy is a close scorer, legit threat to finish it with authority.
White against George. 1:46 left in the 4th quarter. Here's Clowney. And again, it's the Nets missing. And here's MP. He'll bring it up for Chicago. They've only given up 5 points here in the 4th quarter. Hits it from 3-point range.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Bulls.
Not only did they shoot the ball better, but they had more assists.
Yeah, I thought the passing in terms of finding the open man, getting them the higher percentage shots, the ball movement was key for the win.
And so they'll be advancing their win total to 42 games.
And once they polish off this one, they'll be one more victory away from sweeping the season series.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for MP.
What a groove for him this evening. Just stand aside and let the man work.
On the wing, MP. Defended by George. Johnson from outside. Another 3 for Chicago.
Saw the opportunity to put this away, and you can see the killer instinct take over.
And you want to save your best for last. Tonight they've done that and then some.
Outside Wilson. They get it back.
And all you got to do is look at the rebounding margin as to why they hold the lead.
Well, they've absolutely dominated that category in this one, and it's reflected in the score.
Convincing lead with very little time remaining, and the fans are pumped.
They're getting ready to celebrate, no doubt. They know it's theirs to lose at this point.
Wilson. That ball. Nice feed that time from George.
And giving up some inches inside, but makes up for it with an aggressive stop.
Well, he's attacking, he's forcing the issue, and that simply stated a terrific play.
Smith on the wing. Back to Jones. The 3 from MP. It counts.
And with the lead, I like the strategy. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
One thing we've learned in the NBA, the game is never over, so you've got to continue to score, continue to build your lead.
And so Chicago takes this one by a big margin. It was a tale of two teams tonight. One that was in total control, operating flawlessly. The other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go. And once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rip.
Double-digit assists tonight, MP. That's got to be one of the more satisfying ways to engineer a victory, no?
Yeah! Ooh, it's a beautiful game when we play together, isn't it? Come on, Jennifer, I know you feel me?
Me too.
Film session tomorrow is gonna be fun.
Well, enjoy, MP. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kevin, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. And that'll do it, folks. For Dorisburg, Greg Anthony and our sideline reporter, Alan LaForce, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in tonight. So long, everyone.
I'll be back, chat. Be right back.